welcome to episode 8 of Wish We Weren't Here, our terrible, horrible, no good, very bad road trip to save reality. I'm your GM, Arnica, and I'm so glad you've returned because it has been, it's been a long road. It's been a long road. And we're so close to the end. You can tell we're this close to the end because technically the road ran out last week. So let's go ahead, say hello to our cast. They can introduce themselves, their characters, and the question this week will be. Oh, oh, I know. So the question this week will be you get to ride one non mythical animal into battle. It does not have to be its proper size. What animal are you riding into battle? Let's start with Julie.
Oh my goodness, putting me on the spot already? Are we talking me or Benny?
Um, you can do both.
All right. Hello everybody. My name is Julie or Julie CL. I'm going to be playing Benny tonight, our pirate lad who's discovering how to use his words. And I think Benny would be so excited to ride a giant dolphin into battle. As a swimmer, sailor type, he's very good at holding his breath. So I can imagine him going up and like, I'm going to attack you. All right, I'm going to hit you this time. Like, just like cutting himself off as he goes up and down out of the water, holding his breath every time.
I need somebody to draw that.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, what are you riding, Julie?
What was that?
What are you riding into battle?
What am I riding? Well, I don't know why. For some reason, like a big cobra is coming to mind because I think everyone would run away from me, and like I could hide behind its like flaps, so I can like just kind of like take it easy. That's my answer. Oh my god, we already have a drawing. Thank you, Shears.
The fan
The
art is
noble
beautiful.
king of snakes with his beautiful hood, and Julie's like some flaps, right?
Absolutely.
I adore you. All right, let's jump over to Knox. Hi, Knox.
Oh no, not me. Hi, I'm Nox. I'm here. I'm going to be Pi Nakoni, or anxious slash done with everyone's bullshit tree. Um, what would okay? I have an answer for me that comes to mind, and it's just I know it wouldn't be practical. I know I'd probably die. I would love to ride a sloth into battle. It would be so fucking
I had to stop and look at camera 4. Okay. So you're
funny.
telling me that if I go to war today and I call you, you gonna jump on your battle sloth and I'll see you in 6.5 weeks, like you are postage from 1993. That's what you're trying to tell me.
Hey, sloths have gnarly claws. Just
You
saying.
hate a sloth.
Giant
I hate
ground
a sloth.
sloths
They
were very
freak me
scary.
the math
Oh
out.
The,
yeah.
the, the sloth and I will take the Amtrak, so we'll actually get there in a couple of hours, and then the actual
Okay. Just
battle.
ride on top. Have the sloth hold on.
Oh, they're good at that.
Yeah, they're good at hanging on to things as long as they do occasionally fall from trees
Yeah,
because
because
they
that's
think their arms
that's
are the
sad.
branches.
We're not gonna talk
Girl,
about
you
that,
gonna
Knox.
show up smelling like mold and pee.
They do that.
All
They
sloths
grab.
do is pee on themselves. They don't even get down from the trees half the time because they don't bother. They just like let it drip.
You're just
I
jealous
didn't
of
say
that
it was
I
a
hate
life.
a
good
sloth.
idea. I just
I hate a sloth. Have you seen their faces? Okay, so Nox is riding a battle sloth. Nox automatically wins any battle against me because I'm a nope right the fuck out. Just
don't forget
okay.
Pi though.
All right. Um. Cheers. How about you?
Oh shit. Melanie. I think Melanie. Hmm. She would probably want like a sled full of dire wolves.
Nice.
That's hype.
I'm here for that.
That's very Melanie.
Um, I personally I'll go traditional, and I will say a goddamn Clydesdale. Because have you seen them up in person? They are big. They are hair models. They are strong, and they're giant doggos. Prove me
They
wrong.
are. They are pretty good for horses.
Horses are kind of
Good.
evolutionarily screwed over, though.
Just so good, so awkward. Beauty, but awkward. Like, how do you? I would have put some more solid legs on all that mass. That's just what I'm saying. There's a design flaw. I would have bigger on the bottom, wide feet. Anyway, Leland, how about you? Hi.
um, hey, I am Lee slash Leland slash Leopold the Just. I am excited to be here. Hey, um, cool. They'll probably post my links and the thing, so go check those out. Um, let's see. I would ride. I had something in mind. I think I would ride some sort of flying animal, probably like a giant, like eagle or something, like Lord of the Rings style. Something that has good velocity, high velocity strike speeds. Like a falcon or some sort of raptor.
All
Um,
right.
and at, just for the sake of the puns, get the counter out. Um, my Rockman, Rockman Crothers, as I call him, Topaz, he would be riding a giant lobster. So I could say rock lobster. And yeah, no real other reason. Rock lobster.
And that's already added to the playlist.
Excellent.
And we're
I think
starting
the
off
B
strong.
52s belong on every playlist.
All right, and Rosie, how about you?
I'm Rosie, Sweet Rosie B. Today I am playing Melody. I think Melody would ride a moose into battle. Very sturdy, got the big antlers. She would be all about that life.
Is she Canadian?
No, but
Okay.
Okay.
who doesn't appreciate a good moose?
They're
Me
scary.
personally, if size is not an issue, like if I can size this thing up however I want, I'm going into battle on a bumblebee.
Nice.
Let's just
That's
go.
so
Because who's
good.
gonna mess with that?
Cheers,
Well,
can you add flight of the
sting
bumblebee?
anybody, or else
Yeah,
you'll
that'd be pretty
fall.
gnarly.
Right. But imagine how fluffy and soft they are too. It'll just be great. It'll be wonderful. I will be in peak comfort while this bee, this human or bigger sized bee, goes and terrorizes my foes. So
They're
That's
You
so
will
docile,
be?
be
amazing.
though.
I
covered.
love it.
Docile. You need to pick a more aggressive bee, okay? If you're trying to go into battle, is all I'm saying.
The
Right, I'm
bumblebee is the
trying to.
best.
The bumblebee is so sweet. I'm just trying to imagine you be like, kill, and the bumblebee's like, look at that flower though.
I'm gonna go
Let's
suck
just
on that
let's just
flower
go
real quick.
dance.
Let me
Let's just go
let me hit that
dance, Rosie.
pistol. Let me hit that
Your
pistol.
bee has my ADHD.
Your bee goes into battle and it starts busting a fat move.
I didn't say we were winning any battles. I just said
Yeah,
that's what I'm going
pick
into
the
battle
sweetest
on.
bug.
Also, ADHB, not ADHD.
There we go.
That's a
I'm
good one.
writing the ADHB into battle.
Listen, we
All
only
right,
make
you
good
know
decisions,
what?
as you can tell by this campaign.
You know what? Let me mount up on my polar bear and ride y'all into battle because you were just y'all out of pocket. Let's go ahead. Let me get some control over this thing. So, the last time we saw everyone, Team A, Car 1, was in Dictionopolis. The slur merchant was gathering his slurs. Oh, we didn't think we'd forgotten my good buddy, the slur merchant. Because Benny had just hollered a cannonball through the castle walls, breaching his way into a narrow, very deep tower. You can just see the edges of light up here, and it gets real, real dark real fast where the stairs go down. Team B is being frog marched by a mostly broken dodecahedron into the math magician's citadel. It is slick, it is chrome, it is brightly polished, it is it's real, it's like the epitome of Wall Street in one just hyper fantasy building. but in a really boring, terrible way. Like nothing fancy and beautiful, just functional. Anyway, don't worry about that. It's fine. It'll all be fine. So let's go ahead and start with let's jump back over to Team A and your cannonball wall breach. So, walls open. You have knocked your way into the hidden edge of a tower. You can see now that the wall is broken, that this once was like a turret, but they've added enough to it that you can no longer tell. From the outside, it looks like a smooth wall. Inside this round tower, there's about two and a half flights of stairs worth going up. You can see some light from above, and there is no light. Just it is pitch fucking black heading down to the stairs.
Melanie just sees the carnage that Benny has just thrown in like a wrecking ball. Um, and it's just like, holy shit.
Sorry, I think I was muted. We got to work fast, right?
Yeah, and before we do that, she looked like Melanie looks to talk and just says, "You are a good boy. You protect and you attack." And with those words, she wants to create like armor that has like clock design on it, and it also says on the front, "A good boy."
He protect, he attack, he armored front to back.
Yeah.
Know what? You know what? I was gonna make you roll on that, but between the a good boy and between the quick rhyme, I'm so impressed. I'm gonna give it to you. So, your words spill out of your mouth, and for a moment they flow over talk like cold smoke, and then they solidify into this very clockwork steampunk silver and bronze geared armor. You can see the little cogs clicking against each other back and forth as he walks and rotates and makes sure he has room to move. The dog is protected.
Melanie just like looks at him and is like, "All right, good boy. Get some sticks." And looks to Benny and just says, and like holds up the sword, like that was her pen, and just says, "Well, I get to see if this works."
I'm sure you'll be fine. All right. We got to
All right.
storm this thing. We got to hit him hard. We got to hit him fast. We do what we need to do. We get out of there. We try to beat the, you know, the horrible, big monstrous thing chasing us before it can even get to us. Arnica, you said it's like dark going down into
Oh,
it.
oh, it's so dark.
All right. Then I'm going to say, let's see if this works. Torch.
All right. The words are smoky. They are black on the outset and they fade to white and then the white flickers. There's a little heat in your mouth. It's not enough to burn you as it spills out, but the very last of it licks its way out like a fire eater at the end of his trick. And next thing you know, you are holding the word torch. It burns brightly at the top of each letter, and the light around you extends just a couple feet in every direction, like the darkness is physically trying to push it back.
All right. Melanie, I'll take the lead. You cover our back.
Okay.
Going down.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys descend, this spiral staircase is narrow and the walls are clammy. They are slightly damp to the touch. There are streaks of something growing. It's it's a little too it's a little too fungusy to be moss. It's a little too fuzzy to be a proper fungus. It is the black purple that you have come to associate with the void, and it is starting to overtake the walls the further down you get. Um, when you finally think that surely there cannot be another freaking stair in this tower, the light finally touches the bottom, and there is just the smallest landing, maybe just enough space for three or four people, and a door. The door has been, at one point, it was strong and heavily barred, but it now sits kind of askew. That mold fungus from the void has eaten away at almost all the wood. There, the metal hinges are kind of rusty, they're askew, and the door just barely hangs inside the frame.
Uh, I'm guessing this is not going to be super safe. What do you think, Melanie?
Hmm. She looks at it like from a safe distance. And it's like stuck in place.
Um, well, I don't know. You haven't tried it yet. Right now, it's half fallen off its hinges. It's technically in the door frame. Don't know if it's stuck. Don't know if it will fall and make an enormous noise. Don't know what it'll do. Let's find out.
Melanie's realizing that she's in a world full of words. She spent her entire life writing and keeping a giant Oxford dictionary at her side. And she just says, I want this door to move, but silently.
Okay.
And she just says to the door, disintegrate.
All right. So the word disintegrate slides out of your mouth. It's thick. It stings the edges of your lips. And it slides out as a flurry, a small swarm of something, little pieces of the words here and there that if they gathered together would spell out disintegrate. But right now, like gnats and nanobots, they have descended upon this door, and it just is devoured before the pieces of the word all fall to the ground as well, like ashes.
Oh,
You okay?
oh, that left an aftertaste. Oh,
You are so creative with all of this. This is really, I think you're unstoppable here. I'm just going to keep you safe from whatever's ahead. I'm going to count on you to figure it out.
Benny,
Yeah?
give yourself some credit. You did a lot. I probably would have been long gone if not for you.
Well, that's why we're a crew, right?
Yeah,
Let's do this thing.
yeah.
Um, is the door completely disintegrated?
The door is completely disintegrated. The edge of your torchlight just barely casts through the door frame, and you see that there is a long, dark hall.
Whatever did that to the door is in here.
Hmm. Hold on. And is there any rocks around that she can pick up?
Um, there are there is some rubble. You will have to reach through the moldy mycelium to get to it, though.
She uses the sword to dig it out.
Good for you. Don't touch that shit. Don't touch that shit.
No.
So you use your sword to clear away the moldy, dark purple black mycelium. Hello, Vancouver by night. And you find a pretty sizable chunk of rock. It's big enough that a good sized alley apple fits good in your palm. So now what?
Before she like tosses it, she's gonna tell it, "Be silent, but let me hear you." And very gently, like does like the not the toss, but like the bocce roll.
Girl, black, I ain't never played no fucking bocce ball. I don't know how the hell that rolls.
It's basically like you're doing this.
Okay. So, so
I don't know what that is either.
thank you.
I'll explain it later, but
I'm,
basically, the more you drink, the better your aim.
I'm gonna assume you mean like you're trying to pot the 50 when you're playing skee ball. The whoop.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
live
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
woods. I don't
See,
know what
that I
that is
got.
neither.
Oh my god, I'm the only Italian in here. God damn it.
You hear
I'm half, but I don't know either.
You see
All
that?
right.
You see that? That's my soul. That's my soul.
So when Shear's body reabsorbs the soul, we will continue. Soul reabsorb. Good. Let's do this. So you bocce ball. You bocce ball a little stone. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not funny. You chuck this rock through the doorway. That's a great word. I fucking love bocce ball. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. You throw the stone through the doorway, and Benny, you can't hear anything, but Melanie, there is a real soft echo that's only coming back to you as you hear it kind of skip across the ground a significant distance. This hall is a couple 100 feet long and it's echoing funny.
That that doesn't sound normal.
Yeah, something's either up with the texture of the walls or the texture of the air or something. I think we're racing against time.
Yeah.
I think we just need to go for it. I'm running out of things to hold. Uh, Otherwise, I would probably create a shield for us to charge forward with. So what I'm just going to do is it's a tunnel. I'm going to use my magic, my wind magic, to just create a gust of wind and just like use my sword to like twirling it around like a fan to just like push anything in the hallway. Because there's no stealth. We've got a big light. We're gonna be found. Might as well slow down whatever's coming our way.
Okay. So you twirl your sword, you cast this gust, and with it, you hear what you hear is that there's definitely indentation, cells or something lining this hallway because you can hear the wind going down the middle, but also into the sides. Like it's your spell, so you can feel that the wind is breaking. There are cells and that they're all empty except one.
All right, I think we have our prisoner. I I charge ahead. It's in character.
All right. So as you guys run down the hall, um, your footsteps echo, and you see that there are indeed like a solid 30, 40 cells set into this dark, dank hallway. Most of them have been completely filled with this rotten void mycelium. It's starting to spill out the doors. It's bulging them. It's falling through bars. Your feet are just barely missing it. Only the very center of the hall floor is clean. Um, and at the very farthest end, behind the smallest door, inside a cell that is just barely big enough for a human being to stand, move, and lay down in, but not much else, you hear a voice. It's feminine. Um, it sounds okay. So here's the thing, it sounds sometimes very old and sometimes like a mockery of youth. It's hard to understand exactly what you're hearing other than the words, "You finally come for me. I'm so glad you finally come for me."
Hold up the torch to see them.
Okay. So, as your light spills through the edges of this broken down cell, you see that there is a figure. They are behind the door, and their the remains of their hair is blonde. It's matted, it's dirty, except for where you can see something poking through, little clumps of tattered thin white. The skin is it was at one point young and firm and fresh, but now it just hangs from the ill-fitting body underneath. Um, the remains of the princess Rhyme, very carefully stitched around the witch, turn to look at you, and she goes, "I knew you'd come for me. You always come for Rhyme."
Hi. Uh, are are you? We're here to get you out.
And she smiles, and she tries to, pet her what remains of the blonde hair, and some of it comes away at her fingers as she goes, "Oh yes, I've been waiting so long to leave."
Um, uh, is at this time I, the player, would like to say Melanie.404.exe. Please reboot.
That's a fair response.
Uh,
I'm so glad this is y'all and not us. I'm scared for what's for us, but I'm glad this
Yeah.
ain't for us.
Thing is if it was us, Topaz wouldn't see that much of a big deal about it because he's made of rocks and that and like doesn't really understand the whole having skin anyway. It'd just be like, oh, what's going on here? That's just how it sits.
That's just how it
um,
sits. Shush.
uh, 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 and she's trying to like find words, and she just points, "You all right?"
Um, and as the witch gets up, the movement is she's having trouble controlling all the limbs in order. It's jerky. They are moving out of sync. The body falls forward really against the door. The hands are cold and well battered, um, as they flop out the bars. And she goes, you're so. I love how you just saved those words. You use the absolute minimum amount. It's so, and she reaches for your face like she's going to gently. I you're you're here to save me though, right? You're here to save you're here to save Rhyme. They always come to save Rhyme, and I'm Rhyme. You're here to save Rhyme.
Yes, and she like tries to like reach out for either Talk or Benny. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, uh,
There is void light in her eyes as she looks at you and says, "Let me out."
Just because a totem, a person is their time has come, this didn't happen to Hook. Hook was past his time, and this didn't happen to Hook. Who are you?
And she looks at you, that pinprick, that animalistic reflection of void light in the back of her eyes. She goes, I'm I'm Rhyme now. I'm Rhyme now, and that's what matters. And if I was anyone before, then the deal I made doesn't matter. She made that deal. The witch made that deal, and the witch was a terrible person, but I'm Rhyme now. I'm sweet. Let me out.
Benny.
Yes. I look to Melanie.
I she just like reaches for something, anything. Like I I
And what
I
you are feeling right now, Melanie, is in that light behind the witch's eyes. The witch who chooses which words are the right words to use is exerting her power on you. Little writer, did you lose your words? And the witch looks at you again, Benny. Let me out. They have not. They never let me out. Let me out. Let me out. And the whole hall begins to ring. The mycelium on the ground begins to writhe with the rhythm as she screams, "Let me out."
I see Melanie stressed. I see the rhyme or the witch, whichever it is, starting to cause the room to shake, and I look to Melanie and I say, Melanie, I can end her if we need to, but I feel like that's not what we need to do. I don't have your creativity. I don't have your mind. And I look to her and I grab her by the shoulders and I say, speak, as if to pass it to her. And if I have to give up my words to do so, I will.
Okay, let's see how that works. I want you to roll your heart for me, Benny.
Absolutely. It's a bad roll. Can I use I have one spirit. Does that allow a reroll?
Let's take a look. On the dice, on the dice. Let's figure the complication.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but damn, we could really use that right now.
Yeah, we could really right?
It's the
Um,
power of the fanny pack.
so
The
as
fanny pack compels you.
the
That's
fanny pack
exactly
do
it.
compel you.
Amen.
I
How does
just
it
really
make you
believed in all of you so hard that I was
feel?
able to pass dice out.
All
Brett believes
right,
in you
let's
from Neverland.
see. What What were your talents that you picked, Vinny?
I don't know if they're gonna. Well, oh, hold on. I have a leading others talent,
Okay.
and I'm right now encouraging Melanie. May I have one more die?
I'm gonna let you roll one more die because you do have a leading other specialty.
Okay. I will say I rolled a one, and a three, so this is going to be really important.
Yeah, it will.
All right. Good vibes. Good vibes.
No whammies.
It's a third one.
Oh
Woo!
fuck.
All right,
Can't
this
win
is
them
about
all.
to get wildly out of pocket because you just had three critical failures, three
Mm-hmm.
runs.
That's
Roll
fine.
in
Guys
high
tell their
for
story.
Santo, Julie.
This is, so the good news is that you about to learn a whole lot because we learned from our failures. So go ahead and put three spirit on your card and strap in. This is
Mm-hmm.
what happens. So as you lean forward and you say speak, you feel your chest tighten. It starts to, there's a ripping kind of sensation deep in your chest, in your throat. You can feel your voice pulling free. You've put a little too much magic in it. As it starts to tumble past your lips in a bluish golden blur of light and softness, the witch says, "No, no, no, no. No, I don't think. I think you're done with words, young man." And she inhales sharply and your voice tumbles through the air and is swallowed by her.
I got Little Mermaided.
You got Little Mermaided.
I'd like to
So,
try something.
oh, please do.
Please do.
Not all wor- not all words are spoken.
All right. So Melanie is at least partially adept in signing, correct?
She signs when she goes nonverbal.
Okay. So, what is the message that she is passing?
Stop.
Okay. As you chop through the air with your stop, it creates a sound wave, a ripple of red that radiates around the two of you. What it does is it manages to catch the mycelium threads that have been slowly and silently sneaking up behind the two of you. The ones that were without Benny noticing because of that third one and had wrapped around his ankles, ready to whip him out into the darkness past the lights of the torch. They are severed by that stop, but the witch still has Benny's voice. She is now shaking the door. The whole tower is rattling with the strength of her rage. She can bring down the tower, but she cannot open this door.
Help. Why we?
What did you say?
Uh, ASL is basically a different grammar, but basically she's asking why help you.
I understand. Okay.
Okay. So the witch, for a moment, she stops. For just a second, she stops shaking everything down. Every There is pitch silence as she meets your eye and she goes, "After so long in the dark, wouldn't you sell anything, give anything to be free?"
You
So,
eyes. When?
uh, and so the witch leans a little bit closer to the door. Perhaps the door is holding her up. She has been in this form too long, long enough that it obviously no longer passes as a disguise. It's just the thing she's trapped in. And she lets you know that it has been a long, long time. The most recent Milo had just, just brought rhyme and reason back and reinstalled them on their thrones before Azaz and the mathematician sacked wisdom, took their sisters again, and put them in an entirely new place. Um, and she tells you that rhyme was delivered to her oubliette, to this place where things are genuinely forgotten. If you do not already know it's there, you will never find it. You will never remember it. And they threw Rhyme in there, and they waited, and they waited, and there was a constant little whispering in the back of her voice, a black and purple, oily, dirkle little noise bubbling away in there that just kept telling her over and over and over that they always come for Rhyme. They always come for Rhyme. Rhyme will get out. She could get out with Rhyme. And she just tells you that eventually it just became so obvious.
You open. We pointing like signing towards like Benny and herself. Help go. You help. Yes.
And the witch wearing Rhyme, the thing behind the door, looks at you with those glowing purple eyes and nods frantically. She's combing at the remains of the hair again. Oh yes. Oh yes.
I ask eyes. When?
She has she has no concept of time really. All she knows is that it has been a very long time.
And thinking for a quick moment. Moon, light to
There
con.
there is no light. There is no moonlight. There is no daylight. She has not seen the sky in centuries. She has no concept of the passage of time. She cannot answer this question for you.
Voice. Benny, give.
Oh, she.
Please.
Oh, yeah. No, she's very eager. Yes, absolutely. Just open the door.
You break, not us. You.
Oh,
You
yes.
break us. I break you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Open the door. Open the door.
I'm offering to reach for it.
Voice first. Benny.
Uh, no, absolutely not. She has been So many promises have been made to the witch. every Milo, every Milo gets thrown in the oubliette or at least next to the door. And every Milo promises that when they find rhyme and reason, she will be free. She has never been freed. No.
Melanie's hair has been in a side braid for the entirety of this adventure. She takes a sword, cuts a lock off. This, you. We open. I don't remember the sign for promise, but she signs, and I'll translate from ASL to English. Consider this my sign of trust. Please, we'll open the door. Open door. You give voice. Please.
All
Yes?
right. Why don't you go ahead and roll your charm and let's see how that goes? You're trying
Okay.
so hard to persuade her.
All right. I just need to get my dice real quick. Hold on.
Absolutely.
Woo! I'm ready to stab her if we need to. I'm just waiting for the go ahead because it feels like things are really high stakes, and I have no idea what chain reaction is going to happen.
Well, as a player, you have my permission.
I'm
Thank you so much,
neurodivergent. I'm
Lena.
lucky I remembered to put pants on.
I felt that.
Okay.
Pants are
What do I have to
optional when
roll?
you're streaming.
All right. Let's go ahead and have you roll your charm.
Okay. I also have as figuring things out, and that is what she's trying to do right now.
All right, let's take a look at figuring things out. Is make it
I'm
happen.
shaking right now.
All right, so go ahead and roll one extra dice because you have a specialty in figuring things out.
Yala. Okay.
Did you save us?
A 3, a 3, a 4, and a 6.
Okay, so that 6 is a success. The good news is that you are going to succeed in this in whichever way you would like to succeed. The bad news is I am going to need you to mark a shadow because the void is watching. Whatever you do is going to work so heroically well that it has caught the attention of the void and you can very much feel its eyes upon you.
At this point, Melanie sees somebody that she's come to care about have their voice taken away from them. She knows what's that. She knows what that's like. And she's going to use empathy and that knowledge to do whatever she can to give Benny his voice back. She can sign. That's perfectly fine. If she never speaks another word again, she doesn't care. Please help. Friend.
All right. So there is something behind the witch's eyes in the in that dark blackish glowing purple. You briefly see just this bright flicker of green. Just a flash. It's there. But in that moment where it's there, this both mouths, the slack, dried mouth of rhyme and the one underneath it that the witch has been speaking to you from both fall open, and Benny's voice comes rolling out. It falls out of the mouth and through the bars, and you hear just the faintest whisper of a voice, like a memory of a voice, really, that is not Benny's, fall out alongside it. And it says, "You can't leave her like this." Benny, your
Open.
voice is on the floor.
I grab it and then I look to Melanie and I press it into my throat.
And she like goes up to him, like checks him.
I'm
You. Eh?
You said you
uh,
Gucci, bro?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It sounds like we can't. We have to get her out. We promised. We have to be safe.
She like motions
She
to
has
the
to.
witch.
I'm.
We open now.
I walk towards the bars and I look to Melanie and I say, I've always been a warrior. I've always been a fighter. I've never been a healer. I've never been a mediator. Someone like this is beyond my purview. I believe in you and I will keep you safe. I open the door.
All right. And the witch, who has been leaning against the door, you would have thought, now to be fair, you have not been able to really see inside this room. So, I mean, of course, when you have been able to see that there is something wearing a human suit, which is horrifying enough, you assume that it's remotely human sized. What you have not assumed is that you were looking at something significantly larger than the room it was contained in, wearing a person more like a little finger puppet than anything else. The witch has long since lost any semblance of human form. Because what's the point of being human or even humanish without that human contact? The void, which has come to the witch long ago, has bloated her, has swollen her into this writhing fungal thing, okay, that just spills out over you, Benny, and it's grasping at you, trying to pull you into it as it says, You, you let me out. You let me out. You won't leave me here. Don't. And you, behind all of that, it's a shrill screaming desperation. But behind all of that, you hear that same whisper that fell out with your voice. And it says, This was our fault. This is not her fault. We left her here. Don't don't make her stay like this.
I'm being overtaken by this swarm of mycelium of fungus and I think what Benny wants to do, knowing that he cannot leave her like this, knowing that he has to keep Melanie safe in this moment, what Benny has always had above all else is a strong, sturdy body that's held magic inside of it, that has held power inside of it. And I think Benny is going to try and take all of this darkness inside of himself to keep it out of her. His brains are a two. He's gonna try and absorb it.
You just said your brain's the two. I love
Does
you so
Melanie see this go down?
Um, so Melanie, what you have seen is you have seen that the door flew open and that this wave of writhing black and purple, mushy fungal darkness with the remains of both the witch and Rhyme just kind of dangling off it, has engulfed Benny. Um, and it's pulling away from the walls, it's emptying out of the cells. All of this has been little pieces, tiny feelers of the witch, unable to move the main body mass and unable to separate from it. It's all pulling back now, drawing into the main form, trying to draw Benny in deeper. Talk has sunk his teeth into the back of your clothing and is not letting you pull any further.
Melanie, I we get her out.
No!
Right, so this no echoes through the hall. It begins to bring down the already loose tower walls. The ceiling begins to crumble in around you. Melanie, Talk grabs you
No, no,
and yanks you further back. Benny, the
no.
witch, and what remains of Rhyme look at you as the ceiling begins to come down around you. And the witch goes, You really let me out?
Everyone, everyone deserves freedom.
You are engulfed, but you are not absorbed. You are cradled within the body of the witch. You can feel the rubble pelting off and around her, but she is absorbing the blows. You are trapped inside the witch. You are trapped inside the rubble, but you are still alive. And what you feel as this is happening is you feel a rhythmic kind of release in your soul. The magic that has always filled you begins to kind of vibrate with the power of the phantom toll roads. Um, the spirit of Rhyme, all that has, she has stayed with her murderer, with her captor, because Sweet Rhyme could not bear the thought of someone she failed, even accidentally, suffering alone for eternity. And in you, she finds that same sweetness, that same sympathy. And she asks you, Will you be Sweet Rhyme? Will you be my anchor?
I accept.
The power of the phantom toll roads, only half. You can feel that it is not complete, but you are stronger than you have ever been. Your next few words will reshape the castle around you. What do you want to say, Benny?
Get them out. Protect them.
No, 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 no. Please, no.
Melanie,
Let me go. Please.
you can see just through the faintest crumbles of the rubble, you see a light. And while it's not a light that you saw with the previous two, you understand what is happening. You know that you are losing Benny. Benny is the anchor now. If he's not the anchor, he is about to be. And as you hear his voice stronger and boom, get them out. A cold, kind of playful, it this is not the kind of breeze that belongs down here. In fact, this breeze honestly feels like it wraps its arms around you and rushes you out. Benny, why don't you tell us about the person you have accidentally summoned to friends out as the castle begins to rebuild around you?
All right, so as Benny shouts, get them out, um, I think that both Melanie and Talk feel like they are being lifted by the back of the neck by something. Um, Clarifying, Arnica, this is my denizen.
This is your denizen.
All right. So you are hoisted by the back, and you can't see this person very clearly, but they are emitting a silvery light. And you hear from behind you and Talk, Melanie, a voice go, "Oh, why in the name of Oz do I have to go help all of this? Let's go, everyone, I guess." And then in this like
No!
swish of light, there is a flap of fairy like wings as this tall, silvery skinned individual starts hoisting you out in gusts of wind and light outside of the crumbling tower.
All right. Now, Melanie, you and Talk are flown with a zephyr like quickness up these stairs. You are deposited into the streets, which are flooded with people not screaming, but not in terror, in absolute thrill as the city around them begins to shift. It begins to clean itself up a little. The billboards start cracking because Benny didn't quite understand what was going on with the Twitter screens, but he knew you didn't like them. Things start to rearrange themselves. And as you stare at in wonder and horror, you find yourself roughly deposited onto your feet by a denizen.
No, no, no. I have to go back there. Please.
Sorry, love. I don't think there's much choice for that. Everything looks a little bit destroyed. And the individual you see in front of you, standing much shorter than Benny, they're only about 5'6", sky blue skin that kind of shimmers a little bit silver, golden hair, golden robes with an exposed midriff, and big wings behind them, fairy-like. This is a sylph. Hello, my name is Luminen. I am the child of the Rainbow's daughter, so I guess you could say I'm the Rainbow's grandkid, and it is my job to get you out of here. So, sorry, say your goodbyes, and toodaloo to all of this mess.
No, 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 no. I,
Look,
I failed before. No, I can't. No, God, Benny.
You know what? Team A seems like they're having a great time. They've got this completely under control. Let's check
They
in with
should be
Team B
having
real
fun.
quick.
They should.
You're up. Come on,
Team
Team B,
B,
let's go.
you're up.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, you
Oh,
are.
you're
You're
fine. You
fine.
got this. So, the stairs to the math magician's citadel are unnaturally white. For them to be so long and for you to be able to see the footprints grooved up and down the center from so many people beings walking up and down them, these stairs are pristine because there is most certainly a a two. You've never seen a two before, but you've only seen ones and zeros, but there is a two literally following you, scrubbing away every trace that you have been there as the dodecahedron marches you into this enormous room full of computer screens and whiteboards, and one very tall, thin man holding an enormous pencil. Looks like a staff. It's very much pencil, unless it's a magic staff. It could be both. It's probably both. Um, he has traded in his ridiculous hat and robes for a very sharp suit. His it's all black on black on black, except for his tie, which is still purple, a very familiar shade of purple at this point. And he does not turn around. He does not tear his eyes off the thousands of scrolling numbers and jumping stocks as he says, "Well,
Well, hi.
Well,
I guess you're in charge.
do you know how many seconds you are wasting of my time? How many dollars are made per second? Do you want to do that math?"
I'd rather not. That feels like it might be more your purview.
I also don't have the information on how much you charge hourly, and I also don't have a watch.
Oh, buddy.
Um, the math magician spins on his heels sharply. His dress shoes click as he approaches the three of you, and he opens his mouth as if he's going to start monologuing, perhaps bust into a beautiful villain, this, that, and the third. Please let me tell you my plan. But instead, what he says to the dodecahedron is, show it to me. The dodecahedron lifts the one, and the math magician, without looking at the one, without looking away from anyone but the three of you, flips his giant pencil around and erases the one.
Oh.
There, problem solved. You've broken my blockchain. I should have you executed here. But I do hate to waste. It's just, it's something in me, I suppose. Deck, take the denizens to the endless stair. Put her in the mines.
No.
Um, well, it is funny you say no, because the math magician, he has given an order, but it is an order he absolutely intends to carry out himself. His hands are fast as he flips the pencil again and very quickly draws a line in the air. It divides the room into halves. His half is still the math magician's citadel. The half that Pi and Topaz find themselves standing on is white. It's like being trapped on a flat sheet of paper. The only thing really to see is what looks like a drawing, an Escher-esque drawing of some stairs, disappearing up and down into infinity.
Melody?
Where, where have we been
Melody?
transported to?
So, that's fine. There is a trick to the infinite stair. Don't worry if you don't figure it out. We'll come rescue you. You got this. So, so
What
Melody,
the fuck, Arnica?
You
you're
split
fine.
the party again?
Again, into thirds. It's math
Okay,
time.
it's
We're
fine.
It's a
doing math.
third.
Look, we're doing math.
Prime
How am I
numbers. It's
gonna do
prime
math
time.
without thirds?
Okay, you're fine. Okay.
um, Melody, you have just barely been left with the dodecahedron, who did not flinch away as reality was ripped in half, like millimeters away from him. He did not doubt that he would not get caught in it, and that if he did, he would be perfectly fine. You, however, most certainly went, what the fuck is this? You spring back a little bit as the room tears itself in half and then reasserts itself almost instantly. You
Where'd you
stumble
send
into
them?
the dodecahedron.
Where'd they go?
Um, and the math magician goes, they are on the infinite stairs. I would be more concerned about you. And he flashes his pencil again, and the room tears in half again. And you find yourself with the dodecahedron, who is suddenly crouched over in a significantly smaller space. You are in a low, dark, hot mine. The walls are gem studded. It would be beautiful if it was not so close. You can feel the heat radiating off the rocks. There is maybe a solid 3 inches between you and the rock on every side, and that's being crowded by the dodecahedron
Can
pressing
you
up against.
move over just a smidge?
Melanie is too nice.
Um, Man, you ain't never seen a movement like the one that happens as the
Mm.
dodecahedron's head rolls on its shoulder so that the cold and angry face sits down flush against its torso, and that simpering, anxious face faces you as it tries to press itself into the hot, jagged rocks and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't. Of course. No, of course."
Oh, while I got you, why do you listen to him? He does not seem like a kind gentleman.
And goes, "Well, I used to be mad sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I would try to be reasonable,
All
and
right.
sometimes I try to be brave." And he's pointing out to various shattered faces. And he goes, "And eventually I stopped."
Why can't you be any of those things now?
And he's like, "But I don't have that face anymore.
I
Can you feel things without your face?"
mean, I'm feeling a lot of things right now, but we're just gonna push those down. Gotta get out of here.
Okay. All right. So what you find is, as you kind of look around and you and the dodecahedron kind of shuffle around each other so that you can look at the area, you are in a long, low tunnel. Um, the air is barely fit for human consumption. You are, look, a very, very terrible mind boss would send a dude with a canary down there, and technically the dude and the canary would come out, but they would not last too long afterwards. I would not suggest that we spend too long with you here. Um, it's hot. You've only been here minutes and you are already dripping sweat. Your clothes are clinging to your back, and you notice that the tunnel narrows, but if you go through that narrower section of tunnel, it does look like there is a significantly wider room lit by a baleful orange in the distance.
All right. There's only one way, so let's go this way. If you have any input on what might be waiting for us down that way, I would be very appreciative.
The dodecahedron looks at the direction you're pointing and looks at you, and he goes, "Oh, I will wait. I will wait. He will not forget me. He will come back for me. I'm not going where the overseer is."
The overseer is different than who we were just talking with.
Oh, yes. You didn't. Now, for the dodecahedron to be very, very certain that he can only feel the feelings that his face displays, he sounds quite haunted for that not to be a haunted face.
All right, let's just keep trucking then. I trust you'll tell me when I've gone too far.
Okay. So, as you're able to kind of duck walk for the first couple hundred feet,
Mhm.
and then as the walls and the ceiling begin to close in a little tighter, you do have to crawl. And the walls and the ceiling close in a little tighter. This didn't look so narrow back where the dodecahedron was. It didn't feel like it was going to get this. It can't really be this tight, right? But
Mhm.
your shoulders are scraping with every. You are now forced down onto your stomach. You are crawling on your arms. You are pressing with your feet because you cannot get your knees under you. You can only lift your head so far, because when you lift your head far enough to look completely upright, the back of it touches the ceiling. But that's fine, because you don't have a problem with tight spaces down deep in the earth, do you, Melody?
Oh, she sure does. So she's having a fantastic time right now.
Okay.
She is, whether it's the sweat from the heat or how nervous she is right now, this is a situation that is giving her flashbacks of one utterly terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And she is fighting past those memories, fighting past that panic, and just trying to get to that opening that she can see that seems to be becoming smaller and smaller with each progression. Just trying to breathe through it and get there as best she can.
Okay. So as you get to the very end of the tunnel, you can see through the opening, and it is an enormous cavern. It is as open and airy as the space you are in is tight. I say airy, but I what I actually mean is stifling, boiling hot, slightly poisonous gases filling the air because ones and zeros and other numbers don't need to breathe. And that's what you see. There are mines. These are mines. There are carts on tracks, and there are eights and nines, sixes and sevens, threes and fives with pickaxes and shovels. They are digging into the rock of the mountain. They are pulling out enormous, gorgeous, sparkling gems. Gems so pure they hit the light like they're already cut. They're chucking them carelessly into the garbage piles as they pull out the precious cargo that they're actually mining. Other numbers, ones and zeros, are tied tightly before they can escape, thrown into the mine carts, and sent up to the surface to be thrown on the blockchain immediately. Other numbers are have a pick thrust in their hand and are immediately placed on the line to continue to dig. You do not understand the amount of numbers the mundane world is requiring. We burn trillions of them by the second. We are slaughtering the citizens of Digitopolis. The math magician is just facilitating that slaughter. So, that is what you can see. It'd be nice if you can get there though, but as you try to get yourself out of the tunnel, well, let's see if you fit. Why don't you go ahead and roll a body for me and let's see what happens as you try to squeeze through the entrance.
Oh boy. What's my body? My body is a 2. A 3 and a 4. Can I use my make it happen and take yet another condition?
You sure as shit can.
I am going to take, I'm already exhausted and injured. I'm going to take afraid.
All right, this is what happens. So, you're like, I can get through this. Not a problem. You are definitely hyping yourself up. Good for you. You almost convince yourself. You start to push through. You get one shoulder out. Your arm is out. Your head is tucked down onto your shoulder and you stick. You can't turn your head. You can't bring your arm out. You can't push. You can't pull. You are stuck. You begin to panic. You are flailing your feet. You're banging your arm against the wall. You are. Now, I'm not going to say that you find yourself really fighting against the memory of you don't want to die like your father did. But I will say that there is a sudden burst of I am not going to die like my father did that really just kind of digs your toes in just right, and with a pop you manage to get your other shoulder out. You are injured, you are frightened, you are exhausted, but you now have the leverage to put your hands on either side and pull yourself out of that hole.
Okay, we're out. We're good. What is going on out here?
Uh, there is an 8 nearby. It is, I don't know, it was probably supposed to be orange when it was polished up and cleaned, but it has never been polished. It's never been cut and cleaned. It was dug raw out of the wall and immediately put onto the line. There is no shine to this 8, but there is softness to it, I guess, because it sees you pop out and just kind of lay there trying to catch your breath, and it throws dirt on you. An
Thank you.
enormous it yeah, like you're before you can say what the fuck, it throws a shovel of dirt on you and another shovel. It does not at you because it does not dare stop moving, but you see that there is genuine terror in its eyes as it tries to express to you to lie still.
Okay.
There is a clanking noise, a heavy, solid metal clanging sound. It sounds particularly heavy, and a machine, a knight, a mech, a metal construct of armor. It stinks of heat and rot and a faint bacony kind of smell. You know what? It's a real unpleasant smell coming out of this sealed armor walking around. It scans, it briefly looks over you, covered in dirt, and then it continues on its way.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anything I can do to help you in this moment right now? To the 8.
Um, and the eight just the eight is resigned. It's been here too long, but there is a young and energetic six on the other side of it. This six still has some shine on it. Someone has tried to give this six a little bit of polish, a little bit of pride in itself. Someone cares for this six, maybe to their own detriment. And the six kind of looks around and crawls over to you and goes, if the overseer can be distracted, we can break our chains and get out. We can open the door to the infinite stair and escape.
Okay, so you need a distraction.
And he kind of laughs and he goes, we don't need a distraction. We need it gone.
Okay. Let's see what we can do. And I'm gonna try to quietly as I can, kind of belly crawl to one of those trash piles of gemstones. I'm assuming this thing is piled pretty high at this point, with as much work as is being put, the amount of numbers that are mining and being
Oh,
mined.
yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, so when Milo was a boy, the pile of gems was its own small mountain inside a mountain. And the amount of numbers they needed when Milo was a child is nothing compared to what they need now. This is Smaug himself would look at this and be like, a bit too much, girl. A bit too much.
I am going to go to the bottom, as close to the bottom as I can get to one of these piles, find the biggest load bearing gemstone that I can spot and reasonably move. Just yoink, see what happens.
Lord, okay. I'm gonna make you roll this. So why don't you
Mhm.
go ahead and let's roll.
Okay.
Sell me on. Go ahead and sell me on your best trait.
I'm going to beg you for a mind roll in that I have calculated which one of these gemstones is going to cause the biggest shift in this mountain.
That's a great sell. Go ahead and roll me your mind.
May I also roll an extra die for figuring things out?
Sure, shit can. Look at that.
Thank you, ma'am. That is, holy cow, 2 5s and 2 6s.
Yes. Okay. So we know the good news, bad news drill. Let's go
Yep.
ahead and pop a shadow on your chart.
Thank you, ma'am.
And now I want you to tell me what it looks like as you focus your eye on a perfectly rose cut, faceted yellow diamond the size of your freaking like you. Oh my God, she's like the size of your torso. Oh, she's so gorgeous. Tell me what you do.
I take just a moment to admire it, and then because all these feel they're gemstones, they're gonna have smooth facets, so it should slide out pretty easily. So I'm gonna do it, not even bothering to be quiet at this point, just as quick as I can, yank it, and then back up because there's an avalanche incoming of very sharp rocks.
Time to rock
There,
and roll.
Eh.
you did it to yourself. There is an avalanche of very sharp rocks coming. In fact, what happens is, as you back away, as you back away from this, you hear at first it's just a real quick, like glass, just tink, 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 tink. And then it sounds like a rain of glass, like a hailstorm, as all the gems begin to shift. They begin to roll against each other. The entire mini mountain within a mountain begins to shift on itself, cave in the entire front face, giving way and sliding off. Trillions of dollars of gemstones go cascading, wiping out everything in their path as they just scatter. They tip over mine carts. They tear like it makes a mess. You tip over mine carts, you tear up rails. You numbers are absolutely buried underneath these
Oh
gemstones, but
no.
do not worry. They are numbers. They don't breathe. They don't really give a shit. They got dug out of the rock like 3 days ago. They're just back under some rocks. The numbers are
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
But the overseer, this enormous, you've never met an animate suit before. If the denizens were with you, they would tell you that they believe that is an animate suit, a piece of armor brought to life on its own through some form. But they would also tell you that ain't that apalm ain't right, chief. There's something wrong with this animate armor. It is cursed, it's possessed, it's there's something wrong with it as it is taken off of its feet by this spill of gems. Uh, the numbers who are not buried make a fucking break for it. Like they are gone. They don't
Go,
hesitate.
go.
They
Yeah.
don't look back. They all break for various holes, crevices, mining spaces. Most of the space is now cleared. So there's the good news. There's not a lot of civilians in the line of fire. The bad news is you are now in this enormous, hot, dark cave you don't know how to get in or out of, and you are trapped with some animate armor that will be getting to its feet shortly. What do you want to do?
I am sweating. I am scared. I am on a busted knee and ankle. And all I can think about is where are my friends? I hope that the other ones are safe. The party is split. I gotta do what I gotta do. And I'm gonna take that long ass knife that Bonet gave me. And I'm gonna go for it. I'm going to use that move he spent all that time on the ship. Teach me. I'm going to take my 4 running steps and I'm going to do my best to take down this thing as fast and hard as I can.
All right. I
Is
love
Melanie
it.
about to kill a man?
I think
Good.
she is.
So,
They said he needed to be gone. This is how we do it.
so Melody, roll your roll your body for me.
Oh gosh. I get to add an extra dice on this move, it says so.
There we go.
That is 2 6s and a 4.
Oh my
Bam!
god!
Here is
Ah!
what can happen. Your rolls tonight are exquisite, first of
I'm
all. Second of all, here is what happens. You gather your strength. You gather every bit of frustration and sadness and rage that was inside you, that was brought up by those memories welling underneath you as you forced your way out of that tunnel. You all the fear from Neverland, from Wonderland. This has been a fucked up couple days, and it fuels you as you launch yourself through the air. The blade that Bonet gave you is no common steel. This is absolutely Denison forged magic. It was designed to cut through the croc. It most certainly hits this armor. You cut through the air, blade first. Where do you put the animate armor?
Where do I hit it? I'm going to aim right for where I would assume its heart is, if it even has one.
Okay. So this animate armor is actually quite large. It stands like 7.5 feet tall. You crash into its chest because you did practice that leap. You had your jump on, and as you come down, you crash into it as it's regaining its feet. Your blade sinks into the metal like really soft. Like this doesn't feel like metal, it gives like flesh as your blade pierces through. Uh, you clatter to the ground on top of it. And as you do, the helmet comes loose. The helmet falls off, it rolls away, and you see there are. It was less that it was animated armor and more that it was armor being piloted by forcibly animated remains. The remains of Rhyme at you. She has been denied her freedom and her rest. She is trapped in her own dead body, and her dead body is trapped in the armor. And she looks at you and she goes, "Thank you."
Anytime.
um, the two of you are very close. Bless your heart and your stomach because all of that smell was coming from the armor. It was all coming from her. It smelled like a
Mhm.
Five Nights at Freddy animatronic. Um, and as you go to pull the knife free, her voice just kind of whispers out of her, "Will you be my anchor?"
That's what it takes to save this area, to keep all those numbers free, whatever you need me to do. Just please make sure my friends are safe.
Uh, she looks at you, and you can see just for a second there is something in her eyes. You can see her soul, and you can see what remains of reason. She had a wonderful smile, and you catch a hint of it. And she goes, "That sounds eminently reasonable." Behind you, there is a crack in the air. It leads to a bright, voidish space. And in that space, there are three voices, two of exceedingly reassuring. They are Pi and they are Topaz. And the third one, well, why don't you tell us a little bit about the third voice that is talking to them?
There is a voice, it is small, it is gravelly, and she is doing her best to gather up the two giants next to her. She's at 5 foot nothing. She is old, she is small, but she is going to take Pi and Topaz by the hand and reassure them. I'm sure it's going to be all right. She's going to make a fantastic anchor.
All right. Now,
You
You're
muted.
muted.
You're muted. Stream's on
We
it.
got up to all right now.
Dreams haunted.
there we go. I got streams fucking haunted. It's not wish we weren't here if the stream wasn't haunted. And also I have too many mute buttons. I keep hitting all of them and I don't know which one to unmute. So let's jump back real quick about 5 minutes because Pi and Topaz, you guys wandered up and down these stairs for like a solid 20 minutes. It did not matter what direction you went in, the stairs continued to stretch. They stretched up, they stretched down, they stretched sideways. Wherever you are, the stairs are there. There's nothing but whiteness around you, except occasionally in the distance you see something move that may or may not be another denizen. What are you guys doing on the stairs?
I'm hiding behind him.
And I'm standing in front of her.
Just be like, nope, I'm done with it. Just hide.
Now, as the two of you are wandering on the stairs, you encounter a small wildkin on the edge. She's not I'm not going to say she's elderly, but she is older for a wildkin. Um, she is kind of just sitting there. She's got a book out. She has what looks like maybe the stub of a pencil or something. She seems to be kind of ready for something as the two of you approach.
Oh, hello, ma'am. Are you also lost here on these stairs?
Oh, just biding my time. It's rather quiet here. I like it.
Yes, it is. Very quiet indeed.
How did you get here?
A very angry person sent us here with lots of power.
Oh,
And a pencil.
well, I have one too, but it's not as big as his.
Can you open doors with that thing?
Well, I'm not very sure. Can I open doors with this thing?
So, here is what you know. You know that you technically can. There is technically a trick to getting off the infinite stair, which is that you just have to divide and divide and divide with a remainder and then step off on the remainder. You've done it before, but your pencil is pretty low. You would need like a cosmic, world altering, reality shifting boost of energy. You'd really need to be able to access something like that
Or
to open the infinite stair from the inside.
I look around. Is there any graphite in the minerals that I'm comprised of?
I don't know, man. You organize, you tell me.
I don't know. I'm sure I got a little mix bit
Have you
here and there.
eaten graphite?
Have you eaten any graphite?
I don't know. Maybe I don't. Um, but yeah, I would like. Oh, I know. I would like to summon a chunk of graphite with my magic powers
All right.
out of my hand. Um,
Okay,
just
roll your heart for me.
okay. So essentially, what you see Topaz do is take his hand, his smaller hand, and then his much larger hand, and it just completely engulfs the smaller one. And you see this faint green energy with little like almost like little sparks of firefly esque energy coming out from in between his knuckles as he attempts to cast them. Let's see what my rolls do. It looks cool, but let's see what happens. Oh, a 6, a 2, and a 3.
Nice. Awesome. So, the good news is that you absolutely are able to summon, like, not just a pencil. So, if you were an art kid at some point, you went to the good art store and you were able to hold the solid graphite pencil. And it cost like $8 in 1995. Your parents were gonna let you have an
Probably
$8 pencil in
16 now.
1995.
I wasn't even alive then.
Go sit down.
Get
I'm
Bye.
away.
sorry, my soul's just
Fired.
running.
Everyone else.
Go away. Go away.
So, but this is the solid graphite pencil the art kid's dream because it's like 27 inches long. It's like freaking this big around. You can do so much math with this pencil.
Yeah, and it just appears, and I like pull my hands apart, and then there's just this like giant like rod of graphite with a sharp tip on the end, and I sort of hand it over to your character.
Well, that's quite a trick. Let's get cracking. And she's gonna start like just doing math. Just math, 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 math.
Cool. Pi and Topaz, what you are noticing is that as the mysterious Wildkin's little hands fly across, she has stopped writing on the book. She has begun to write on the whiteness of the air. She is writing on the stairs. And as she is, you are starting to see edges appear on the stairs. She has very carefully begun this formula in such a way that she is constantly cutting the stairs in half with a remainder that you are all standing on. The stairs shrink, 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 shrink until only the remainder is left. And you guys find yourself. The good news is there are no stairs. The bad news is you are now just on a plain white piece of paper, an endless void. Where's down? I found it. It's up here, dog. You are essentially in the Janet void. And as you go to make the final movement that you need to get out, a door sketches itself. It opens the way, a beautiful shining archway made of an exceedingly elaborate mathematical formula. The likes of what it does, I cannot begin to describe to you. But it's beautiful. It forms a lacy archway of light, and through it you can see this fucking hellish ass cave. I would not want to go in there if I were you, except for the fact that your friend is standing there. She is scratched, she is dirty, and she is glowing with the power of the phantom toll roads and with the spirit of reason.
Melody. And
I will.
Pi's just gonna jump, like doesn't even care, just jump to go grab Melody in a hug.
All right, Pi goes flying through the portal, scoops up Melody, grabs her in a firm, woody hug.
I am slowly like sort of jogging over there, but it takes me a minute. Uh, and you can see like little bits of rubble on the ground, like vibrating as I'm running up.
Yeah, Pi's a spry little twig.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad the void did not eat you.
Yeah, but I think I'm stuck here now.
Oh,
Oh,
Melody.
it's okay.
You say so?
Your friend Rhett seemed to want to make the best of it.
Then I guess I got to too. Just a little scared is all.
No need. You have power. Power beyond most people here.
She's just gonna grab both of you into a big hug as much as she can. She's so much smaller than both of you.
Yeah, you just get a little bit of my arm and then I just kind of like hold my arm up like this and let you hug onto my arm.
Pi's just grabbing you like completely like
I need you to stay safe. I need you to keep Benny and Melanie safe. You gotta meet up with them again.
I really like Benny.
I do
uh,
too. He seems nice.
Melody, the wildkin walks over to you. She has a bunch of stuff in a little bag next to her. She digs through and she pulls out a clean, freshly pressed hanky and she hands it to you. And
Oh,
she's like,
thank you. Thank you so much.
uh, and she just kind of looks at you and you just look so sweet and so sad. She's not entirely sure what's going on, but you definitely look like you are very worried about your friends, and she cannot help herself. She swears she wasn't gonna do this, but she cannot help herself. She offers to help your friends
Well,
get to
I
where
can
they
go
need
with
to
them
be.
if you're stuck here.
Awesome.
I
So,
made that pencil.
Wow, that is quite a large piece of graphite.
We should probably leave the pencil with Melody.
Oh, here you go,
And
and now it's gonna take.
Pie's gonna take a needle from her hair and like some twigs and make like a little mini necklace and put it around Melody's neck.
Um,
Melody,
You
as you
always were my favorite human.
You're one of my favorite trees, and I have met a bunch.
I want to give Melody something sweet too, so cue me up.
All right, Melody, as you take that graphite pencil, it begins to extend into a staff, a significantly bigger one than the math magician's, I will say. But there is a space on the end for something. Uh, Topaz, go.
Okay, Topaz like lets off a big rocky smile, and then goes over to. Is there a nearby like cave wall or something I can walk up to?
Oh yeah,
All right,
you are surrounded by cave wall.
all right. So I'm gonna go up to the cave wall, and he takes his much larger arm, and he kind of has to like hoist it up with the other arm a bit to get it up high enough, and he kind of leans back like this, and then with the force of both arms, he smashes his much larger arm up against the cave wall,
That's not safe.
crushing it down to like the size of his other arm. So now they both match. And then he starts
Oh,
kind of sorting out through the rubble, and he finds um, a really large chunk of fluorite, like that was like embedded down into his fist. That he occasionally, or he picks it up and hands, and it's like it's like the size of your like a human fist, and hands it off to you, and he's like,
I always saw it shining in there.
thank you. It's one of my favorites, and I'm gonna put it on top of the staff.
As you put it on top of the staff, it begins to glow. It begins to resonate. It begins to resonate, and you very, in a way that you were just kind of making room for, the other half of the Phantom Toll Road's power fills you, and when it does, you understand instinctively that your other half, the rhyme to your reason, has already been chosen. And you know how to find them. And when we get back from break, we'll go over how you find them. We will reconnect the party. Yay!
Yay!
Huzzah!
I can't wait to see Benny and give him a big hug.
Right? I
Ah!
know, Melody.
Benny.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Everybody can't wait to be reconnected. This
Mm,
will all end wonderfully
mm.
when we get back from break. Let's go ahead and pay them Bezos bills. We will see y'all in about 10.
Bye, y'all.
Help that fucker get to
Bye.
space again.
shit, I should have brought my knitting.
That's what we open stream on.
Right? Oh,
I'm
okay.
not pulling out my sewing. I'm not gonna stab myself on stream for this.
That would be really funny, though. Are we back? We're not back on my phone, but we're never back on my phone
We're
entirely.
back. Yeah, I
So
see
I'm
us on screen.
very hi. All right. So we definitely didn't do anything heavy and emotionally exhausting. And I certainly did not rapid fire exchange, not one, but two of our human players for Denizen players within 45 minutes, because that would be outrageous. Ah, so everyone's doing fine. It's fine. We're fine. Um, Melody, you are standing.
Melody?
Well, that's right. Shush. That's right. I have control of Melody now. Melody is standing in the middle of a mountain. She looks at the entire party and she just kind of instinctively understands what to do. She grabs her new pencil staff and she sketches a quick door. And as she opens it, you guys see a different part of the city. It is, it kind of looks like the part of the city that you were in. Oh, Claire, after all, rated while we were on break. So, hello, everyone who came with Claire. It's nice to see you. Thank you for showing up. Uh, the city that the door opens up into, is a little bit busy, but it's a friendly, bustling busy, unlike the cold, I don't have time for you busy of Digitopolis. There are people of all different shapes and sizes, some not nearly as human as others, busy trying to get words and letters and emojis and gifts back onto stalls and tables. They're helping each other sort things out. And around them, there is the rubble of the remains of a castle and what looks like a new castle kind of forming itself out of that. In front of it, you see Melanie and you see Talk and you see an absolute stranger. Kind of short, very thin, very gosmy. Just a little wisp of a thing. But a whole bunch of fucking attitude from the way that they are just kind of hovering off the ground, finger kind of keeping Melanie away from the rubble of this castle. That is what everyone sees as this door opens, and Melody just kind of waltzes right through and leaves you guys to follow.
Missy, I've told you you cannot keep trying to go back towards the rubble.
No, please.
I'm sorry.
I can't leave him.
The one thing that I was summoned here to do was to get you out. And if you put yourself back in, then what was I summoned here for?
But what if he's hurt? I can't. Please.
Look, what's he's an anchor now. He's not hurt. If anything, his very survival is the thing keeping this place together. So no, he's fine. Take that off your back. Don't worry. He's good. You might not see him again, but he is totally fine. Oh, that didn't help, did it?
So, hi, you catch the edge of that. You hear just the very end of it. And no, Melanie is not your favorite human. But also, she's the last of your humans left. You don't know who this is. All you know is that the last human left standing is really distressed, and there's some denizen you don't know in between her and where she wants to go. How do you want to handle this?
I immediately try to attack him.
I am going to grab the twig and hold it back from doing that.
Do I see any trees nearby?
No, you are in the middle of a busy metropolis downtown area, and there are no trees in this block.
Also,
need to wait a second so
No,
we can
let me get
identify them.
as soon as there's a hostile intent from Pi, Luminen just instinctively flutters their wings back, and like as if there cannot be any more or less space between them. As Pi moves forward, Luminum just moves back the exact amount.
I don't care. Let me.
You're,
Ooh,
you're,
tasty tree.
it's by the very nature of my existence, my woodkin friend, I cannot be caught. Sorry.
Melanie,
Let me. Let me get to her. Let me. I swear to God.
is this friend or foe? Speak up.
Quickly.
Easy. She just looks at the rubble, like devastated.
I immediately blames him for it.
She's going through a rough time. Her buddy is now the anchor of this world. She seems to be really upset about
Benny,
it. I think so. Yeah, she keeps trying to say his name, it seems.
Melanie, he will be fine. That is why you all are here to help us.
I didn't want that for him. I I I wanted to get him home.
I,
I didn't even get to tell him that. I, I keep failing.
Put me down. Put me down.
Yeah, I would let
Easy
the
tree.
tree down. The tree. I'll let Pie down.
Pi immediately just shakes him off and runs, like, goes in front of Melanie and goes, "It's okay. It's okay."
I couldn't tell him.
It's okay.
Uh, So Melody walks up to you, and as she puts her hand on your shoulder, you can tell. She does not have to say a word for you to be able to tell that just like Benny, Melody is lost to you. She is the other anchor.
Melody.
She gives you a little smile and she goes, You know, I think I can math Benny out of here. It's just going to take me a little bit, but y'all should probably get going.
Melanie,
I,
may I
the
tell you
bones.
something?
Yeah.
My people, we experience pain unlike others here in this realm and the other realms of fantasy. When the void becomes as powerful as it needs to be to devour everything and everyone, we are the last ones remaining. I feel this pain every day, but what keeps me from losing hope is that you all are here to help stop it from happening again. Your friends are playing a crucial part in this. What they are doing is honorable.
No, 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 no. Please no. Let me say his name. Let me say his name. Please let me say his name.
I will say it for you. Benny, I will keep it safe.
And she looks to Melody. A geologist in a mountain. I- And she like holds up her arms and silent asking permission to hug.
The rock person. um.
Uh to Melody.
Oh, well, I want. Can it be a group hug?
Group
Can
hug.
it be a can it be a group hug? Well, regardless, yes, I will. My character comes up and tries to join in on the hug as well.
Yeah. It's okay, Lexi. Go lie down. Go lie down. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay. So Rosie, do you have any last word? Actually, before we do that, real quick, before I'm gonna have you and Julie both do your last words as Benny and Melody. But before that happens, Melody, she takes the hug for a minute, but she steps back, does one of those, watch this real quick, twirls the pencil, and draws a door. And this door draws like a little trap door in the air, no less. With your little smart ass, just a little do 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 do. Opens the door, and out of the trot door, like a backwards magician's trick, out drops Benny.
Got you. Oh my god. Are you hurt?
I'm 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 okay. I don't think I don't think this can hurt me right now. Not that easily.
That's
Uh,
not reassuring.
We'll give her a hug. I think she needs one desperately
I
right now.
step
She needs a hug.
right up to Melanie, one big arm, just pull her into my chest.
Tackles him.
Oh,
Tackles
all
him.
right.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Me. This wasn't you.
I can't say your name.
That's okay. There I know that as a writer you put a lot of power into names. But as a sailor, as a worker, as a friend, I always valued actions above all. Even if you can't say my name, just know that you can carry me with you.
And she just holds like her hands on both sides of your face, like your name. I will say it again.
I know you will, because you can do anything. I've seen it.
Wait. She pulls out the book, rips a page, tries to write Benny. And then just writes her own name, Melanie Elena Kurt. And says the word locket, Locket, and uses the sword again, takes another piece of hair, and allows the magic to take the hair, the name, and the locket together to form her name as the chain. The hair is a keepsake within the locket. And on the inside, engrave that very promise. Keep my name, and I will do the same.
I nod. I take the locket, hold it over my heart. This isn't going anywhere.
I will find a way back. Please be safe.
Benny smiles, and as someone who knows and has declared that actions speak louder than words for him, if Melanie will allow it, he will gently go in for a kiss.
She allows it. And immediately holds onto the front of his shirt and kisses him back.
Be careful. Be safe. I didn't put myself here for nothing. I did it so you can live and be everything that I know you can be.
I will. Kisses him again. And runs back towards the group before she can say anything else.
Holds up a hand to wave goodbye to the rest of the group. Big smile. Smile over to Melody. One more look to Melanie. And then a slow turnaround back through the door.
All right. Now, Rosie, does Melody have anything she wants to say?
Oh goodness, she's already kind of had her little goodbye with Pie and Topaz and has a reassuring feeling in her heart that she's going to be able to continue knowing Benny in this world. So she's going to quietly, with her giant staff, kind of nursing her busted leg and still coming down off that panic, exhausted as all get out, go over softly to her, kind of look at the group as a whole, and note, looks like you're the last one left.
Well, shit.
It was always gonna be you. You've been here before. You gotta lead them through to the end of this.
And she holds on to the
You
pendant.
are so strong and so crucial to whatever happens next, and my only regret is that I don't get to be here to see it. You're going to do great, I know it.
I'm scared.
I know it's a scary thing. I'd be surprised if you weren't. But there's so much ferocity in you. I've seen it. And you've gotta hold on tight to that, because you are what's gonna lead all of them through to whatever happens next. You've got this. I know you do.
Same to you.
Oh, I hope so.
You're in your own paradise right now. You have a giant mountain to like.
There are so many. There are
A
so many, but that's beside the point right now. That
a
is for
mountain full
later.
of number cryptids.
Oh, it is so good, but that's for later right now. We gotta ensure that you all are okay. But man, it's so cool, isn't it?
Try not to get your kid out every single time you go in the mountain.
I don't know if I have enough kit to handle even a fraction of that. But it'll certainly be an adventure.
Yeah. And she looks over to Benny. Please take care of him.
Promise.
I can't say his name.
I'm sure that'll come in due time. But until then, I know at least I'll keep it safe, and I know Topaz had said as much as well. I know you're not going to forget him, and knowing him is going to be what carries you through. You have a memory, and that's more important than anything else.
Uh, Topaz, it looks like he's carving something in his forearm, and then you see Benny's name written, like carved in a certain part of his forearm.
Hmm.
It is safe as long as my arm is attached.
Like a tattoo, see?
Honestly, though, with the way things have been going, are we really sure it's not helping.
She looks
You're
to
fine.
Pie and just,
Everything will be fine.
I know you don't like me, and and I know you don't like me.
I like.
I want to make sure everyone is safe. I just, I just want to make sure everyone's safe. I don't want another person to go through what I went through as a child. I don't want nightmares of the burning. I don't want, like, turns back to, like, briefly looks at Melody and Benny. No more.
There's only one more anchor. You're almost done.
If you allow me, I ask for your help. I don't remember the path. There's a lot I don't remember. Please. Help.
Is there any way Pi would know what the fuck to do?
Well, you don't, but that's okay
Oh no,
because
she said it as she signed.
okay. So you don't know what to do to help, but there is someone standing around you who does. In fact, there are two someones because now that they have become the anchor of the Phantom Toll Roads, Benny and Melody have an innate understanding of where the boundaries of their world are. And Melody gives you guys just one little bye, and like the math magician, does not draw a door but slashes the pencil through the air, tears reality in half, and leaves the two of you groups standing. For a moment, you see Melody and Benny giving you a real. Benny's is a real big yo. Melody's is a bye y'all, and then
Bef-
the page falls away. Oh,
as that's happening, I'm gonna quickly rip off a chunk of my beard and hand it to Benny, and then nod at him.
Penny
It's made
like
of moss.
Penny takes it like with a big smile, first looking in your eyes, then looks to the moss and is like,
I can help you ID that later. Don't worry.
"Oh, thanks."
right.
There's some.
So
I'm realizing that I have some blind spots.
I gave her like a fancy crystal from the geode that was my fist, and I just ripped a little chunk of my beard off for you because I had to think on my feet, you know. to think-
Yeah, Pi's just gonna give you a pine needle.
Oh
Or
wow!
no, actually, she's gonna give you the nest and just put it on top of your head.
I missed.
all right, so
you get a
We can
nest
make
in
a
page
grandma.
terrarium.
falls away. Y'all have left Benny holding a handful of junk. He don't know what the fuck he's supposed to do with an old nest and some moss. But you know what?
I love the
Bless.
idea of the terrarium.
He gonna stick him under some glass. He'll figure something out. He'll say the word terrarium. Thank God he ain't got. It's fine. It's fine. He'll say the word terrarium. He'll do something. So the page tears away, and it leaves. The city is gone. You guys are standing on the other side of the mountains of ignorance. Uh, there is no way back across these mountains. The only way in or out, other than being able to do that mathematical trick of dividing the world in half, are the phantom toll roads, and they are no longer accessible. They are locked in an endless circle, and the demons are trapped on it. Instead, what you see is there are mountains to your back, and in front of you stretches a vast desert. It is a baleful, deep, sunburnt kind of golden brown, not a beautiful beach golden brown, but a I'm about to burn kind of color. The air is heavy, it is hot, it kind of stings at your skin, and there is nothing as far as the eye can see except for a large junkyard right on the edge of the desert. Um, there's you can't really see the sign from this angle. The sign is facing the desert. What the hell? But you can tell that there is a big sign on the back of the building, on the front of the building. It's the back to you. And that's it. There's a desert and there is a junkyard with a house with a sign on it. And you
God.
have two people you barely know. Yay.
Well, I guess your next adventure awaits. Whoop de doo. I looked at the other new friend. Are you a gerbil? What's your deal?
Oh, I know I am rather small, but I descend from deer, actually.
Oh, wow. What's your name?
I'm Stelly. What's your name?
Stelly. You're the other person roped into this. I'm Luminin, grandchild of the rainbow. Nice to meet you.
Oh, very fancy. I'm
Yeah,
just a
whatever.
corn counter.
A corn counter. You count corn.
Yeah, because there's the bean counters in Digitopolis that are much more prolific, but I specialized.
Amazing. So we have a rock, a tree, a bean counter, and
Corn
our
counter.
dear human friend right here. Time to save the world, I guess. I hit my vape.
Are you at all related to rainbow tourmaline? 'Tis a mineral.
No.
It tastes delicious, like the sweetest of candies.
All right. Well, we just met, my friend. Let's take it day by day.
I can't tell if I'd rather trade you for the one we left in Neverland.
I have no idea what that means.
Oh,
Why do we always trade the good ones
All right, so what do you guys want to do?
Pie's gonna like look at Melanie and just do you want to sit on my shoulders while we go?
thank you, but no.
Okay. Just
And
like
she just like,
walk it.
but, and she says to Pie, keep a lookout.
That sounds okay. This is not gonna be fun.
No,
Into
no,
the
not,
house.
not the house. No. And she has like that frustrated autistic look on her face.
God, I felt that.
Yeah. And she's just like, I, I'm asking you to be careful. I don't want you hurt. And
Well,
she like gently taps her thigh for talk. Because that's the one person, the one dog, the best doggo who's still in who's still in the armor.
Hmm. He
And
is
she's
still
just
in the armor.
and she's just like giving him scritches for being a very good boy and also to like try to like go into like she's in mourning, but it's just like fuck, but we gotta keep going, we gotta keep going. This is not healthy.
The void will not wait for us. Let us hold the memories of those we are leaving behind in our hearts as we run.
well, I've been a boat, I've been used as a shield. Can't get much worse unless there's fire.
Can you use your pencil to help us transport where we need to go?
I mean, it's awfully small now, and we're not in Digitopolis, so I'm not sure if it'll work.
Oh,
He just eats a rock that he picked up off the ground.
Oh, is
Contemplates.
that taste good?
delicious.
Okay.
Melanie just looks to Lumen and asks, "You said your name was Lumen?"
Lumen's good. Luminen is the full thing. I'm named after the light. That's what my mom wanted for me.
You have wings, can't you fly and be lookout?
If I must, I'm gonna start hovering up, looking around.
I really don't like this one.
All
Oh,
right.
I'm sure
Now,
she's fine.
Have patience, Pi. He will prove himself
Patient.
an ally soon.
After about like the fourth foot off the ground, just the rest of the way, it's just as they're going upwards.
so
Oh, I don't have that much.
Luminen, because your denizen is really native to the areas of Oz, you know better than anyone exactly what you are looking at. The land of Oz is cut off from every other land, including other fairylands, by an enormous deadly desert. Anything that touches the sand dies. Anything that is too close to the vapors of the sand dies. So you know it's not a problem for you. Freaking the sylphs pass over the deadly desert all the time. You guys go up above the cloud layer. You just go about your business. It's no big deal. Except even if you wanted to and you don't want to, you couldn't carry this whole party up, much less up and over. The deadly desert extends for miles.
All right, I hover down. Yeah, okay. Looks like it hasn't changed too much. Still sand that'll kill you upon touching it. You know that game that the peasants would play with each other when they can't afford like actual games where they pretend the floor is lava and they can't touch it? It's kind of like that, except with the sand. So don't touch the sand. Can anyone else fly, or
I can jump really high.
not gonna cut a few miles, is it?
Hmm.
Is there a way? And at this point, she's going to try to remember if she's ever been in this area. It's going to be a stretch, but I am going to ask Arnica, does Melanie remember anything?
So you remember something. There is a gentleman. Mostly, he tends to live around the fairylands of Oz, but he travels here and there. He was old when you were a child. If he's still alive, he will be significantly older now. But you remember the twinkling eyes, the bright smile, and the inhumanly fast hands of the gentleman who introduced himself to you as Johnny Dewett. And Johnny Dewett can build anything. It doesn't matter if it's real, if it's fake, if it should work, if it's physically impossible for it to work. Do you want it? Johnny Dewett can do it.
It's in the name.
And she pulls out the book again, the first draft of Into the Called Into the Pines. Pulls like immediately, like tries to like find that spot and like, come on, come on. Ah, yes! Oh my goodness! I wrote it. Oh, good. Thank you. Past me. Oh, okay.
Why
I
are you
think
excited?
I remembered something. I remembered. Uh, I don't know if he's around, but Johnny Do It. I, I was here as a child. I, I don't remember much, but it's things are coming back to me, and it's he built anything, anything and everything. If we could find him, we can get through safely.
Can I do a magic spell?
You sure can.
All right,
What do you want to do?
I want to let out a big bellowing call for Johnny Do It, but I want to use my magic to have the earth help carry my voice uh,
Ooh.
outward
Get
to
that
like
bass.
All
attract.
right.
Oh my god, are you actually gonna yell? This is my question because I already worry about your throat when you do
No,
the voice.
I
All
mean I
right.
could.
So
I mean I
no,
could.
no, you'll scare the shit out of me. So
All
I
right,
want you
you
to go
got
ahead,
it.
roll with your
Johnny.
heart. Roll with your heart. You are going to need a five. Five's your
Okay.
target number.
Okay, my heart's 3.
I didn't know a rock could inflate its lungs so much.
Excellent. A 6, a 3, and a 2 again. Same thing I rolled last time.
Nice. So, Topaz, you take a deep breath, like as big as you can, which is significantly longer than people thought it could be. You have
Yeah.
like great lung capacity in that big old torso.
Johnny, do it.
Just,
Ooh,
it
you
just
are
like
very
echoes.
loud.
Oh, ow,
The
ow.
ground trembles under your
Oh.
feet. The pebbles kind of roll. The mountain walls vibrate behind you. And Topaz, you recognize the rest of them can't. They don't speak rock. You understand that they are laughing. Like they are laughing hard. Real fucking hard. And you can't understand why until a voice from the junkyard 500 feet from y'all, you hear an old voice go, "The fuck do you want?"
Sorry.
Wait, does Melanie hear that, or is her eardrums blown?
I
Roll for damage.
mean,
Kai is
no,
really glad she doesn't have ears.
I got
you
enough
hear
for
it.
both of us.
Your ears hurt, but this old man's voice, it is a little bit high and a little bit wavery with age, but he's still got some lungs behind him. He throws it back, and you most certainly hear him go, "Fuck do you want?"
And she just yells out, "Who is the man that can do anything?"
Uh, and you sure enough hear, "Johnny, do it!" Like, he's look, he is his own hype man. No one has been this
I love it.
stoked on himself in a long, long time.
To some extent, we should all try to be a little bit more like Johnny Do It on this.
Yes. And you see coming around the corner, you see an older black man. His hair is short and full. He has a little bit of a beard right here. Everything is snow white. He has a hunch to him as he walks, like his back just hurts too much to bother with standing up straight. And his cane is beautifully carved. He is fast as he is coming around the corner. He's muttering under his breath. He's hype manning himself. And right as he starts to be like, yeah, behind him comes this, he's a solid like 35, 40 years younger than Johnny. He's like in his late 30s, mid 40s. He's just this cute little redheaded beefcake of a dude. And he puts his hand on Johnny's shoulder and he goes, "Mm-mm. What did we talk about?" Johnny just kind of goes, "But they know." He goes, "What did we talk about?" And Johnny goes, "But what did we talk about?" He goes, "You know what?" He goes, "Fine." And he points at the sign. And you guys look up and you see in small words it says Johnny. And in big letters it says do it. And in small words it says Johan. And in big words it says your, yourself. Welcome to the do it yourself junkyard, bitches.
Melanie is just like too ecstatic to like she she remembered somebody. She like she just like looks at him and you got young.
Uh, Johnny, he leans forward. He just kind of squints for a moment, and he looks at your face. He never even bothers looking at the necklace around your neck. And he can see the child inside you, and you can see him light up. He is just thrilled. He bats his husband's hand off his shoulder and just at a full, just as fast as he can hobble over, he comes right to you. He scoops you up, and his arms are very strong still for his age as he hugs you very tightly and he says, I never thought we'd see you again.
I'm so glad I can remember you now.
He pets your head like you're still a little girl. He just kind of pats the back of your head and he goes, I know you feel like you didn't do a good enough job last time. I don't think you remember how many lives you saved. It was never about saving the land, it was about emptying the land, Melanie. You did just fine.
I'm glad you're okay.
He laughs. He's like, please. It'd take more than that to get Johnny to it. All right, now I know. And he looks over his shoulder at his husband, who is just Johan has given up. He knows when this is a fight he can win and when this is a fight he can lose. And as soon as his husband went out of turtle speed and into turtle winning the race, he knew that this was no longer a fight he could win. So Johan looks exasperated but still warmly welcoming as he kind of stares at the rest of y'all. He goes, well, come on in. We gonna build something, I guess. And you guys are all welcomed inside the safety of the big, tall, barbed wire fences that separate out the deadly desert from the do-it-yourself junkyard. Uh,
Yeah. Melanie looks at Johan and looks at Johnny and jokes. You finally settled down. Um,
uh, yeah, yeah, and he laughs. He goes, "Oh, it took a couple centuries, but I finally let him win this prize."
and Melanie looks to Johan and just says, I'm glad you two are happy. And she genuinely means it.
Uh, so Johan gives you a very warm smile, and he goes, "Trying to get you're trying to get into Oz." He just kind of gestures across the desert.
Yeah.
And he and Johnny just kind of look at each other and they have that completely silent conversation that only a long-term couple who deeply understand each other can have. It's a lot of smirks, a couple eyebrow twicks, one or two rolled eyes, before Johnny finally just kind of gives you a little wiggle and he goes, "We're building a ship."
Can I help?
Oh. And Johan goes, "Oh, you will help." So here's what I'm going to ask everybody to do.
Oh,
I'm going to ask
oh shit.
everybody to roll 1d6, and we're going to see how useful the stuff you find in the junkyard is.
I'm not helping unless someone literally walks up and asks me to.
All right, you hold on. Let's see how everyone else rolls. You may get away with that bullshit. I love it, princess. Let's go. Let's start with pie. Knox, roll for me.
Alright, I totally should have grabbed my dice, which are on the opposite side, and I want to get up, so hold up. Let's That is a 5.
5. Nice. So as Pi looks around, you see that there is the fiberglass. No wood for you. Fuck these people do not. They do not respect you enough. But there is the hull of a fiberglass speedboat. It's got a couple cracks in it. It's got some dings. There's no motor on it, but it is the hull of a sizable speedboat. It will hold the entire party. So you have located the body of this boat. Shears, why don't you have? No, actually, we'll come to you in a minute. Leland, why don't you have Topaz roll for me?
I got a 4.
You got a 4.
Mhm.
All right. So you are in charge of the sled part of this, and you look around. You find some stuff. You find some lengths of metal. You can curve them with your big hand. You kind of punch it into a curve so that it's got a nice sleigh runner to the front. But they're not the same width. They're not the same length. They'll do the job, but it's not as sturdy as it could be. All right.
Sounds good.
Rosie,
At
why
least I
don't
didn't
you
suck.
at least you didn't suck. Totally found a thing and it will get the job done. Rosie, roll for me and tell me what Stella found.
It was a 3.
It was a
Oh my god, we're going
It's
down.
just going down.
3. So you were sent for stabilizers. And they probably should have sent Topaz because you ran across a couple things that probably would have made wonderful fucking stabilizers. You were not big enough to handle them. Instead, you come back with a couple of discarded city signs. They are big enough that they say like one exit. So they're not big enough to say I-95 south this way, north this way, turn this way, but they're big enough for one exit. They're a little bit hard for you to handle, and one of them's a bit rusty, so they're not as good as they could be, but you have technically found something to contribute.
Ta-da!
So proud of you. Uh,
God, I felt that in my soul, Annika.
I know. I didn't mean it. I love you. You did a great job. Shears, why don't you tell us what Melanie found?
Melanie has some enough boating experience, but mostly with catamarans and sailboats. Anything with like power boats terrified her. Especially after that one time her friends took her on a speedboat and she was just like, I like sailboats.
Hmm.
She's gonna try and find that and maybe some paint.
All right. So you are in charge of finding the sail. Why don't you roll for me and let's see how we do.
Yalla yalla. A 3.
All right. So like it's not that you didn't find anything. You found lots of shit. You found nothing big enough to function as a proper sail. You guys can stitch these things together, but they are not all the same weight and type of material. So odds are good that it may blow apart under too much stress. But technically, you have found a sail. Now, Lumen,
Mhm.
everybody has brought back, all of their stuff. Some of it's better than others by a little or a lot. And Johan is looking at you, and it's just a real steady, unimpressed look as he goes, well, you need to find something. Do it yourself. And he points at his name. So you can roll and replace any one item.
I mean, Sticks and Rocky did a really good job getting all those bits and bobs. You sure I? Yeah, fine. I'm gonna float up and look around, see if I can find anything.
That's right. You can fly. You can roll 2 dice because you can see from the air.
All right. I mean, I guess it was a 4 and a 6.
All right. Awesome. So you can either replace the side stabilizers or the sails with anything you want that is a perfect fit for the size of this vehicle.
See, if we don't get a proper sail, then I have a feeling that I'm going to be pushing this thing, and I don't want that. I'm replacing the sail.
All right. You happen to see in the far corner, it was definitely no one was gonna see this. It's behind a mountain of shit. But there is the remains of a crashed hot air balloon. It's made of patchwork green silk. It's probably not the first wizard's balloon, and it's definitely not the most recent wizard's balloon. And you, Rainbow's granddaughter, know why it's not the most recent wizard's balloon. But it's definitely one of the wonderful Wizards of Oz did not make it across the desert. His balloon crashed. He died, and there's all that gorgeous green silk ready to catch the air.
Uh, so as Luminan's arms are folded, they just kind of like roll their eyes, and with one effortless flap of their wings, just the whole big green sheet just flies exactly where it needs to. Ta-da!
Oh, very well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Still don't like you.
You don't
Oh.
have to like me. I'm here to stay, unfortunately.
We're doing
Luminous.
alright.
Hmm.
Thank you.
No problem, glasses.
Melanie, please.
Melanie.
Thank you.
uh, so you guys have done enough work for Johan to consider it that you have done it yourself because everybody knows that when Johnny's ready to go, you get out of his way. So Johnny whistles a particular note, a series of ups and downs, and a hammer comes flying into his hand. It's not a big Thor hammer, it's just a little builder's hammer. He whistles again, some tools fly in from the side, and as he whistles, the tools begin to move around him. The ship begins to lift itself into position. Runners go underneath, the sail unfurls. Johnny whistles, sings, and hums the ship into being, walking around it at a ridiculously fast speed. You thought you saw Johnny move fast before with his racing turtle. No, Johnny is suddenly sprightly. He is young, he is nimble, he is frighteningly fast as he appears and disappears and appears and disappears across the ship, and it takes shape. And in less than 5 minutes, he stands before you, wipes his brow, and goes, "Now this will get you into Oz." And with that note, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave everybody for the night. You got a
Woo.
ship. There's a big deadly desert in front of you. We've swapped out 2 humans. Let's go ahead, say our goodbyes, and tell people where we can find you in the upcoming week. Let's start with Shears.
Wait, what? Oh shit. Hi everybody. I'm Bloodthread Shears, Shears for short, and I do a lot of stuff, and I'm known by many names across the internet. There's a link tree in the chat for a damn good reason. I am a variety streamer. I stream video games when my laptop allows it. I do a lot of crafting. I'm currently working on the final dress for the Sophie Dress project before going on to the giant hoodie blanket. And I'm in the works to have my first YouTube video published eventually. Um, Also, April is coming up, so I am going to be gearing up for Autism Acceptance Month. So I may be doing planning some stuff on my channel, depending on whether or not my laptop will allow me. Um, it's all dependent on the tech. I am also a professional photographer. I am the owner and founder of Different Drum Photography. I do events, I do portraits, I do boudoir. I am the creator of casual boudoir for those who don't feel comfortable being like, ooh, sexy. It's more like, yeah. So if you are looking for
What is yeah? What was that?
I
Like
said
a
what I
farmer?
said.
Like a
It's more
farmer
like
whose pigs are
R2D2
like,
going,
in a good mood or something,
yeah!
and he's just like, yeah.
I said what I said, Leland.
I got the
So
vibes.
if you are if you are looking for a photographer who specializes with stuff that is off the beaten path of anything from the typical skinny white girl, hire me. I'm available for hiring, and I'm available in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and some areas of Pennsylvania. I do travel. I'm I also offer a sliding scale for those who cannot afford a full-on shoot, and I offer workshops and teaching how to photograph belly dancers as well. I'm also a belly dancer as well. This is my ninth year dancing. So if you're on Long Island or anywhere in between Long Island and Manhattan, I may be performing. Check out my social media. I do all the things.
You do all
Bye.
the things. Oh my gosh, you do so many things. I don't know where you get the time in the day. Let's say goodbye to Leland.
Oh, hey everybody. I am Leland slash Leopold the Just. You can find me pretty much everywhere, or that's a social media sites at Leopold the Just. Um, sorry, I just got distracted. ADHD. Turn the screen off. Um, all right. Yeah. What am I doing right now? Oh, I'm in this stream, which is cool. I'm in this stream. I hope to be in another stream after this one ends. Maybe, I don't know. You can go on to my links in chat to my milkshake, which is like a link tree but cooler. And on that milkshake is my start playing GM link. And if you're looking for any professionally ran private gaming, just hit me up. I just got started on there, and I've got like 5 games up already or something, and they're filling up. So come check them out. It's good stuff. Lots of Power by the Apocalypse stuff. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I even have a survival based horror exploration D&D hex crawl game up that I'm recruiting for right now. So come and check that out. Other than that, I'm a social media manager. If you need a social media manager for any reason, hit me up. I do. Uh, I guess sliding scale is the right word. I will work within your budget.
Awesome.
If you need somebody to post things on social media for you, because you're too busy doing other shit. I can do that really well, and I pick a good time to post it, and I'm good at writing ad copy. So hit me up for that too.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank Cool. Thank you, Leland. Let's say goodbye to Rosie.
I am Rosie, Sweet Rosie B, TTRPG and charity and crafting streamer here on Twitch. I am in this show, which I love and am also terrified of every Monday. Next Tuesday starts Hymns of Humblewood, where I'll be playing a Midwest Crow lady, which I'm so excited for. And then coming soon, I'm in a project with Nox, but I'll let her talk about that. I have been trying to get some new content on my channel, doing 3D printing, posting some stuff to my coffee shop as far as that goes. So if you want a cute little wiggle dragon pet thing, I have those coming soon. I also make dice bags and hats and all sorts of fun stuff. Go check out the link, which I'm sure is in the chat at some point. But yeah, that's me.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. That seems like a pretty good lead in to Knox. Say goodbye, Knox.
Hi y'all. I moved my camera because my tablet is now at 3%. So I have to charge it like this. But hi everyone, I'm Nox. I was Pi Nakoni. You can find me on Twitter at Noxternal_7. This is all I'm doing this week, thankfully. I'm tired. And so it's always good to have a rest day, take some time, self-care. But the week that this ends, on our finale week, a lot happens. The next day, on Valentine's Day, I'm going to be back here on Girls Run These Worlds. for Game of Love, which is going to be very fun. It's like a dating show type of thing, DM'd by Gaskinator, and I'm super excited. And then that Saturday, I'm actually going to be DMing something. I'm going to be running School of the Stars, and Rosie is actually one of the cast members, where you are going to be in a magical school that they are trying to kill you, but it's not because of who you are, it's just that there are reasons. And it's like magical school mystery. There's a lot. Um, I'm very excited because everybody wants me to lean into the horror, and like some of the messages I got were "fuck me up, fam," and I intend to do that. So we'll
Why do my
see.
GMs keep trying to kill me?
Okay, I need everyone to know that I think Rosie was slightly scared of me during session 0. And she goes, "Did
Fine.
you take tips from Arnica?" Was something that she said.
Fine.
Y'all don't know. You weren't there.
But don't worry, if you want to see why, tune in on the 18th.
Oh, I will. I will. And let's say goodbye to Julie.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Julie, Julian or Julie CL on social media. I have played Benicio Aguilar, and now I am playing Luminen, Child of the Rainbow's Daughter. Um, you can find me on most social media, including Twitch as Julie CL. I'm a Twitch affiliate TTRPG streamer. We're finishing up a 5e campaign because we were working on it already, but we're going to be branching out into other systems. Very excited to be trying additional things as well. Going to be trying additional third-party content. I am the co-creator and co-writer of the award-winning audio series The Realm Tree. It is a podcast series about how fairies get their wings. You can also watch it on YouTube. My big project this week is that on Wednesday evening and Thursday evening, I'm teaching two master classes on how to incorporate acting into TTRPG performance online. I am a professional actor, have performed abroad as well as in my home of New York. So just attempting to apply that knowledge to the world of TTRPGs. I'm keeping it super affordable, especially for these preliminary rounds, but I am going to turn it eventually into a full course and find a good way to strike that line between like really making sure that I am stable enough to do this frequently, but also making sure that the information is out there and affordable, because I feel like that is something that for some reason is kept out of the TTRPG community, those resources and the information to elevate your performance, your voice, etc. on a technical level, I feel like is just not super readily available. So I want to do a part in spreading that. So there's still a few slots left, especially for Thursday. You can message me or just check my socials. I made a tweet about it again today. And please tune in for our last few sessions. I believe there's two left. Wow, Mondays. And on that note, Arnica.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. This has been episode 8 of Wish We Weren't Here, our terrible, horrible, no good, very bad road trip to save reality. We only have 2 episodes left. We have one hell of a trip through Oz when we come back next week. And then after that, I promise you, whatever you think I've got planned for this finale, you're going to wish I had done that instead. Uh, but until then, you can find me here on Mondays for 2 more weeks with Wish We Weren't Here. You can find me on Tuesdays at Anita the Lesbian's Table. We will be doing Mask, Halicon City. I cannot wait for you to meet my hero, Captain Jack. On Wednesdays, starting on I want to say the 8th, but we may have pushed it back a week. I'll have to check. You'll find out next week whether you will be joining me that Wednesday or the following Wednesday on Valdorant's Twitch, as we will be playing Animorphs, Morphs in the Bayou. Thursdays, I take a day off because even I get tired, and then come back on Fridays to play Aliens with Fiona, with Mother. Hi, Mother. I'm so frightened. We are going to have a ball. But until then, look at the other shows we have here. Check our Mass show on Tuesdays. Check our Lancer show on Wednesdays. Check our Alien show on Fridays. I guess we also rest here Thursday. And we have, oh, okay. Hire these awesome folks. Thank you. I thought that was a message for me. It's a message for y'all. Pay people, not me. I need a nap. So we're going to let go. We're going to go raid nerds with dice. Mwah. I hope you all have a wonderful night. We'll see you soon.
Oh, I love dice. I love nerds. I love nerds
I
with
do
dice.